Hey everybody, my name is John McManus of the Builders Daily, and today I'm here with the Constellation HomeBuilder team to talk about their brand new solution for home builders, NX. We've been talking about operational excellence for years now, and it's meant different things through the years and through the decades, as you know. Let's talk about the overall strategy for your new solution, NX, and what drove it in terms of the operational excellence that home builders can aspire to and achieve with this solution.
Yeah, at Constellation, in our home builder group, we feel like we're a part of the industry, and many of us have been in the industry for quite some time, working very closely with our customers across Canada and the US. And what we've heard is that they want to be able to adapt their business to the current conditions, whether we're on an upswing or a downturn or whatever's going on within the local markets. And one of the best ways to do that is to have good data. And so we've taken a long-term approach to building a new system that builders can use to better manage their data, better manage their operations, and really make better decisions to respond to the dynamics of their market. And we want our customers to be fierce competitors. We want them to do a great job. We want them to delight their home buyers and be easy partners to work with to deliver great new homes.
Yes, and you've lived in this industry for a couple of decades. You know there are a lot of ERP solutions in the marketplace that home builders have a choice of adopting. Can you talk about what differentiates NX from other solutions that are out there?
Many of the large production home builders are using ERP platforms that were never designed for home building. And so they've had to customize solutions around the core ERP to make it speak home building, right? And from day one, this platform was built with only home builders in mind as the customers. We could never go to a different industry and say, we've got a technology platform that will work for you. It just doesn't happen. Everything that is second nature to home building, communities, plans, elevations, the fact that you have sales agents or realtors, co-buyers, all of that kind of language that we all know in home building is native in the application. And so there's no learning curve like, oh, you have to call a lot a widget or any of that kind of nonsense. It's just from day one, it will seem like something that's familiar to them right out of the gate.
Can you talk about how NX scales to different types and size organizations that you're looking to apply it to?
Yeah. When you talk about the NX journey, it's a long one, and part of that is because our home builders required a specific or a certain amount of flexibility when it came to how the system is going to be set up. I think if you walk around the floor, you could talk to other technology providers that would say, oh, if you're building 50 homes to 125 homes, we're a good fit for you. If you use QuickBooks or another native accounting package that you've always used and you want to put something on top of it, you could probably find these little sweet spots. Oh, we're great with builders for 200 to 500 homes. And I think that the industry was looking for something that is going to provide flexibility and scalability, because a 200 unit home builder today could be a 1,500 unit home builder in multi-states in 3 years. And in many cases, you look at like some of the recent publics that are customers of ours, they were doing 500 homes. And now they're doing 7,000 homes because they're publicly traded and they transform their business. So with NX, we've really built a lot of flexibility around organizational business hierarchy and then production hierarchy. So we meld all of those together so that you can manage your business at the highest level possible, but have the ability and flexibility to manage everything from costs all the way down to something that would be specific or unique in a given community for a specific plan and or elevation. So with that complexity, it takes time to build. And that's part of the journey that we've been on, is creating a flexible, scalable solution. Integrated accounting is a big part of what drives that flexibility, because when you're sitting on top of QuickBooks, at some point you can't scale anymore. And so, from day one, finance and accounting had to be part of the solution, and it was the bulk of the development in the early years.
Is there a way that you could sort of track and characterize how NX addresses, abilities to streamline, to have efficiencies, to have velocity, to impact their operations today?
The data footprints of most ERP platforms are significantly larger. The amount of data that you have to actually maintain as you scale and as you open new communities becomes a little bit onerous. And with NX, you're only going to have to manage data exceptions. So if I've built this plan and elevation 1,000 times before, and the material takeoff is essentially identical in this new community, except for 3 or 4 standards that are changing and options, I only have to manage the information around those 3 or 4 items. So from a purchasing standpoint, it's so much easier for purchasing to get through the work that they need to do to bring product to market. And that mentality and reality is prevalent in scheduling, supply chain, warranty, sales, design center, and ultimately land management as well. And so everywhere you look in this system, it's designed to allow people to work more efficiently, which ultimately drives ROI, protects margins, provide data, and then overall I think provides the business a platform where their users can do more than they maybe historically have, which means as you grow, or let's just say times are tough, you need people to do more with less, you've got a platform that is really the foundation for that math equation.
So you were talking about the complexity that's in every home building operation, and we know with human behavior, there's the complexity that's there, and then human behavior is such that it is where data and the ability to activate it and avail of its value is sort of locked within each person's relationship to the data. Can you talk about the transparency and the shareability and the way that this sort of pulls a disparate set of organizations and departments into a single source of truth?
Yeah, like that happens, the access to the data and the data silos, that happens across a company, across a builder. You want to make sure that purchasing is talking to sales, and that construction is talking to sales and purchasing, and everything is kind of brought together through the accounting system. And having all the data in one place is a big step forward. But from a data sharing perspective and a system integration perspective, what we've really taken is the opportunity to check all the boxes within Constellation. We have a model for integrations, and we'll do that, and we'll work with our builders, certainly to integrate to other systems that they may want to use, but we want to make sure that the Constellation systems are the core, and that everything kind of feeds from that from a data and standardization perspective. But that's within an organization. You extend that further, you've got different stakeholders. You've got home buyers, you've got trades, suppliers, mortgage companies, lawyers. There's all kinds of people involved in the overall municipalities and the overall life cycle of building a home. And so there's an extended data model as well. Whether it's the products that we have, various portals, various homeowner experience products, we're definitely invested in those as well, so we can provide a great experience across all the stakeholders in home building.
Right. These companies, the leadership and management tend to view these kinds of software and technology implementations as relatively painful to anticipate. Can you talk about how the process is worked so that it's a relatively simplified and a better experience for those users?
If the implementation isn't successful, there's no reason to own the software, right? We have a very standardized approach to how we implement software. We know that the first 8 weeks of every implementation is going to be identical, and we also can speak to the reasons that a company has to be committed to it. We have the numbers to say, on the back end, here's the value that it's going to provide. It's going to streamline this. It's going to, maybe save you cycle time. It's going to provide you visibility into real-time pricing. It's going to allow you to dynamically change your average sales price if your competitor is doing something unique in the marketplace and you need to react quickly. Instead of taking days or weeks to make those changes in the back office, it could maybe take you a matter of minutes. And so, as painful as it may be, I would just tell every leader out there, implementation is the single biggest variable in the math equation that leads to ROI. And so we're committed, we have the resources to be able to deliver on a successful implementation. We've done hundreds of them over time, and we know how to successfully implement the software, and we will partner with our builders to do so.
Can you sort of talk about how customer care and the customer experience is a core part of the solution of NX, and kind of where it fits in terms of the priority and value chain that you're creating with NX?
So in terms of the value for various stakeholders within the ecosystem within NX, customer experience is huge, right? Home buyers are more demanding, they expect more information, they expect to get answers to their questions quickly, they expect to let you know that a problem has occurred or that you need to fix something in the home as quickly as possible. And if you're silent on that, they're going to grow frustrated and they're going to feel like their needs are being neglected. And so again, we try to bring all that data into one place so people can make a decision, they can understand how the problems are occurring, who's causing the problems, be able to do an analysis on how much you're spending on fixing those problems. And making good decisions throughout, like how you engage with your trades and suppliers goes a long way to improving your customer satisfaction. So I think that's extremely important. And we have homeowner portals, we have homeowner satisfaction surveys, we provide a lot of analytics. We're working with builders where we can start to analyze and predict certain metrics with their home buyers. And it's going a long way, actually. It kind of opens a new conversation where maybe if it looks like something's going off the rails, you can respond a little bit more quickly and get it back on track.
Where does NX fit into, as much as it's a sort of value cycle solution, where does it fit into helping a home building operator become more customer-centric?
Data equals insight and power, right? And in NX, along with our reporting platform, BuilderMetrics, will provide clean, usable data that they can make decisions based on. And in today's world, I think that many builders are pulling some data out of an ERP system. The customer experience stuff resides elsewhere. Maybe it's manually created or calculated in an Excel format. Maybe you've got other CRM systems that you're maintaining data in, and you're trying to bring all of that together and then make heads or tails of it. And in many cases, some of that data conflicts with itself, right? It's not a single version of the truth, and I think different people, different stakeholders in the organization will tell you their data is the real version of the truth, right? With NX and BuilderMetrics, you're going to have a single data platform, clean data that you can query, report on, and then ultimately lead to good decisions, which in our system also, you've got the home builder with access to the same data that the builder has. So historically, stuff that was in the back office is now available in the homebuyer portal, and that is information that manifests itself at 10 o'clock at night on an iPad in the living room of a potential buyer, whereas historically it was locked in the walls of the back office. And so the fact that now my brand promise, the information that I think is relevant to a potential buyer is now available to them at their fingertips. And so, the democratization of that information all the way into the home buying experience with that potential buyer on their couch, that allows for a much better, streamlined, and unique experience for that potential buyer.
You've mentioned that there are tens of thousands of hours have gone into the development of NX, and I just want to get from you what you feel like you've arrived at this milestone. What's next in terms of how it evolves and what it means in terms of how the home building industry can embrace it, engage with it, and avail of its value? Yeah,
you said tens of thousand hours, it's hundreds of thousands of hours. It's been a massive project for us, and working very closely with our customers throughout. So we have some very opinionated and engaged customers that have pushed us along, We've got a great team, a very large development team. Many of these people have, like I said, have worked in the industry who are making our product decisions and roadmap decisions. And it's just been a great development story. We started off on the wrong track at first, and we got good feedback from our customers, and we adapted, and I feel the product's in a great spot right now. Moving forward, we're going to see where our customers want us to go. There's new modules that we're building right now. We have many of the major categories within our suite covered, but it's a matter of bringing them into the system. So we'll see more land dev functionality come into the system. We'll see more of the customer experience functionality. We'll see more around like construction and field collaboration and operations. There's a big build to rent push right now as well. We're going to have all that covered.
That's fantastic. It's so valuable that you mentioned that there were mistakes at the beginning, and learning has been as important as what you brought in terms of knowledge and software development skills and that sort of thing. So
I like to say we tried it one way the wrong way, and then we tried it again the wrong way, and now we're on the right way.
Bob, you and your team are on the starting line revving your engines with the NX introduction. What does it look like? Tell us what it looks like over the months and the years in terms of where does this lead?
It's a great question, and I'll just talk about a little bit about our history and some of our flagship ERPs that we've had. We're delivering a couple of thousand of changes to our ERP systems on an annual basis. We're very early days, as you mentioned, on NX, and so we'll begin to see customers coming onto the NX platform. We'll start to see some of our existing customers migrate from one of our flagship ERPs onto the NX platform. And then we have 6 primary releases a year of all of our ERPs. So we'll continue to develop and build out as the industry says, here's functionality we think is important to us as a builder today, or as an industry today. Here's things that you're not even thinking about, but is on our roadmap that you need to start thinking about. And so all of that is part of our development process. So I think 15 years from now, you're going to be asking me, well, what's next for NX? And we'll be talking about the 2,000 things that we're going to add over the next 12 months to that platform. It's a never-ending build process for us. I think the industry has said we need this web-based modern tool set to take us to the future, but for our flagship products and as well as for NX, this is a long-term investment for us. We're forever investors in home building, and we'll be continuing to improve those products incrementally. About every 2 months, there'll be something major happening with all those products.